everyone, welcome back to another great episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Today we're going to be making a sesame seed brittle, or what in Gujarati it's called sankri, and I know it has some different names too, but I can't think of those right now. But I've been doing this recipe. I must have made this like 10 times. And the reason why I did that, because I wanted to come up with the perfect method and the perfect way for you guys to make it so it'll make your life much easier. It's a very, very simple recipe, but it can go wrong, because believe me, it went wrong with me a couple times. So now, a couple of things. I'm just going to turn my stove on so we can get that nice and hot. You want to use a pan that's a little heavy, a heavy bottom pan. It'll just help regulate the temperature. And what we're going to be using in here is jaggery. Now, I also will be doing a video using sugar, but I love using jaggery in this because it is not chemically treated or refined as sugar. So it's really, really good for you. It's better for you than sugar is. So I've done a video on jaggery, how to get into it, so make sure you watch that video. Now, if you see these measurements of jaggery, if it tells you 1 cup or 2 cup, I don't understand how they do that, because this stuff has to be weighed. I mean, there's no way you can put this, the measurements are not gonna come out. So what you wanna do is, today the sesame brittle that we're making, I have 1 pound of jaggery, which is 16 ounces. And I have 12 ounces of sesame seeds. And this is something you will have to measure. The one that I do with sugar, you can measure sugar really well. So you're gonna be fine not using the scale. But for this one, I highly recommend that you use a scale. And then also we'll be adding about a little less than a tablespoon of ghee or clarified butter, which you don't really need a lot of, but just a little bit. Now, as my stove is getting warm or hot, I'm gonna go ahead and add my jaggery in it, and then I'm gonna talk some more to get what stuff do you need to get ready. Because before you start this dish, this is gonna quickly cook, and then it's gonna quickly harden. So it's a candy. You have to make sure that you are on top of it. You need a heavy bottom pan. You need a spatula or something that is not gonna melt on you. So don't use a regular spatula, because the temperatures of the jaggery goes really, really high temperature. It will melt a regular spatula. This one is from OXO and it reaches about 600 degrees. So I'm using this one. Other thing you need is a rolling pin. We're gonna use a rolling pin, and we're gonna make sure that we put ghee really nicely on it and keep that ready. The other thing we're gonna use is a pizza cutter. I have used a knife, I have used my big knife, I have used all sorts of devices to see, but I found out that pizza cutter is the best thing to use. The other thing you're gonna need is a little plate. Now, if you have granite that you're working on, like a granite countertop, then you don't need the plate, because then you can test the jaggery right on top of your granite. And so we'll let this keep on melting. And then you want to take the ghee, and also make sure that you put the ghee on top of the surface that you're going to be putting this on. Now, if you don't have a marble piece or a granite top like this, use the back of a big pan, like a cookie sheet or something like that. The only reason I don't like making it inside is because I can't tell the thickness of it. But if you are making a small quantity and you think you can do it, then go ahead. Now, I did forget one item, and that was you also need a something small, like a bowl that you can we're gonna need to straighten it out a little bit. We might need it, we might not need it, but I always keep it ready. So I use this little glass bowl, and the glass bowl works perfect for me. So another thing I really want to point out is, when I did my video on the jaggery, I really had no idea that you can get white jaggery. It's clear. There's a picture of it on the thumbnail of that video. I bought it and I made the sesame brittle, and it did not turn out. And then I did some research on it and found out that that is treated with baking soda, and it is stripped away from the sticking agent, or the binding agents of the jaggery. The taste also was not, it was more crumbly. It did stick together, but it was crumbly, and the kids could right away tell the difference between the regular brittle that I had made with sesame seeds and the one that I used, the white jaggery. So I highly recommend don't use the white jaggery. It also is stripped off from nutrients, because when they wash it off with the baking soda, they're stripping off a lot of good nutrients from it. So I bought 4 pounds of it, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing with it, because really it's, I didn't like it at all. I was very disappointed with that product. So anyways, we've got this one going here, and what you want to do is you want to take a little bit of it and drop it on a plate, a couple of drops. Or if you have a granite counter, then use the granite counter. At this point, you also want to make sure that you lower the heat. Don't keep it too high, because it doesn't take long for this to burn. So, and the smell that's coming out of this gore or jaggery is like a molasses. It's just wonderful. Now you know when it's done when you can hear it. And you see this one? Where'd he go? I think I dropped it back in. Do you hear that? That means that it will form a candy, okay? So we're almost there. Just gonna drop this one back in. If you're using your granite, I'm going to do one more test just to make sure. All right. And you just want to let it cool down just a little bit, because it's going to be very hot. But you can see that it's coming off really well. This one is just because it's big, but it's getting there, so it's ready. So at this point, what I am going to do is look at the color change too. It's just such a beautiful color. So now in goes my sesame seeds, and this has gone through vigorous testing in my kitchen. I have tried the ratio of 16 ounces of the jaggery, and I've tried 16 ounces of the sesame seed, and it's not turning out. So I decided to go with the 12 ounces of sesame seeds, and I found that worked really well. The stove is still on, and I don't want to shut it off until I've got everything mixed in really well. I have found that this ratio is absolutely perfect. It just coats all the sesame seeds, and it doesn't really have a lot of excess jaggery in it, because I really don't like it very sweet. So see, it's on, so the stove, the pan is hot too, so this will help. Okay, now again we have to work fast, so I'm going to shut off my stove, and then we're going to go ahead and put it on our board. Once it goes on our board, I just want to take it and, okay, now the ghee's on there, so I'm going to start straightening it out just like so. Take your hands again, get it together, just like so. Whew, it's hot, but do it. All right, take your rolling pin. Let's give this a nice close it up again. You go use both of them. Use the rolling pin and use the whatever works for you. I kind of keep on going back and forth. My cat knows that something really tasty is cooking up, so you can hear her or him meowing. His name is Aladdin. He's 5 months old, and he's brought a lot of joy in our house. Absolutely love him, although he can get into a lot of trouble. All right, so you want to make sure and try and get it as thin as possible. It's a little bit of a workout, but when you have friends and family eating it and saying, oh my God, did you make this at home? And that also with jaggery, super satisfying, super satisfying. Okay, now just take your pizza cutter and look at how easy it is to cut the pieces up. And you're gonna see the pieces are gonna look so professional. Your friends and family are gonna think that you got this from a store. And you also want to don't wait to cut them unless you just want to break it up, then you don't have to cut it. But if you're planning to everything out of the way, if you're planning to cut it, then get it done right away because it's gonna harden. And my hands are not burning, it's not that bad. So just gonna turn it just a little bit. So I'm also going to be doing a video of using peanuts in it. So make sure you watch that video because the measurement is going to be different. I'm also doing a video of all sorts of seeds in it, and I'm going to be throwing in some cashews and stuff. So make sure you watch that video as well. My husband and my kids have never seen this much brittle because I have been making it every single day. So once you guys start making it, you seriously have the easiest thing. Just by following the recipe, you're gonna be able to make wonderful sesame seeds with, or sesame brittle with little or no effort. So the only one thing that I found a little bit exhausting is when we are cutting this. But other than that, you can do this at home. They're amazing, amazing. And you know they're made at home, so it doesn't have any extra bad stuff in it. So let me get a plate and we'll get this plated for you. So here we have the finished product. I want you to take a look at it. We've got the one that we made right now, and then there was one that I made before that I mixed the black sesame seeds and the regular sesame seeds with that, just to give it a different look, and they also turned out really, really good. One very, very, very important thing I forgot to mention, and that is want to make sure you toast your sesame seeds. It can be done in the oven, but before you start making it, just toast them for a little while longer. But you don't also want to make them really toasted, because they're gonna be bitter to eat. So if you ever try anybody making sesame seeds and they're bitter, it's because they've over toasted the sesame seeds. So just a little bit of the thing, something that I forgot to mention. I just wanted to make sure that you guys know that. Have any questions, make sure that you post a comment on the bottom of the video, and also the description and the measurement of the videos. All my videos are under the description part of the video of this stuff. So good. It's not hard where you feel like you're gonna lose your teeth, because the ratio of the jaggery and the sesame seeds is perfect. So make sure you try this at home. Leave me a comment. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Hope you can join me here next time with another great video. Show me some love. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up.